Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, it's facts that make your brain go. Words added to that Cambridge dictionary. Like Kay says, he has Wi-Fi. He doesn't need a dictionary.
This is true.
Wi-Fi. Here we go. Maybe you have a dictionary on your wall. I think, is the Cambridge one like the English one, I think?
I think it's like the official.
I'm an Oxford guy myself. When I Google the dictionary, I like the Oxford dictionary.
I'd type in most popular dictionary.
Put it up. One of the first questions asked, is the Cambridge Dictionary better than the Oxford Dictionary?
And what are the results?
The Cambridge Dictionary gives a more practical explanation along with an example of how to use the word in sentences.
Oh, that sounds way better. The Oxford is the more popular one, though. I don't know why. If the Cambridge is helping everybody.
I got to admit, I've heard more about the Oxford than the Cambridge. Like when I'm out drinking with people, like, hey, man.
Yeah, so
This Deftones show is pretty awesome. Oh, did you see that in the Oxford Dictionary about Deftones? No, it's the Cambridge. Oh, you loser.
Okay, so just so you know, Oxford more popular. However, Oxford Dictionary gives you the meaning as well as the origin. The Cambridge, like you said, is practical, an explanation, how to use it, an example, more user-friendly for people really trying to understand what the hell that word means.
I'd kind of like to know the origin a little more, though, too.
Oh, God, I don't care. It's not my business how you got here. How do I use you?
Well, that word would be the first one going in the Cambridge Dictionary, the ick. The ick is now in the Cambridge Dictionary. A sudden feeling that you dislike someone or something and are no longer attracted to someone because of something they did. So you might have liked them. For example, in a sentence, here's the sentence they use. I used to like Kevin, but when I saw him in that suit, it gave me the ick.
You want to know? This is funny. This is funny because... Brian, you had an ick yesterday that I've seen trend on TikTok. It's not for me. Don't worry.
I trended on TikTok yesterday?
No. You did something that I've seen trend under the ick category because this is like a TikTok thing, like what's giving you the ick.
Yeah.
You put on those no-show socks where you're putting on your shoes and it kind of looks like you have ballerina slippers on your massive feet. And girls have taken videos of guys with those on their feet, but like, I have the ick.
Why are no shows now out?
Because now you got to show it. Now you got to show your socks.
Because for a while, I mean, I started with socks with stripes on them, pulled up almost to your knees.
That's kind of, not to the knees, but we're back to pull-ups, like mid-calf.
I just bought a bunch of those Bombas, the no-shows. Or Megan did for Father's Day for me.
Hold on to them. Give it 10 years and you'll be golden.
Go back to rotation.
Yeah, they're going to be, right now everyone wants to show their socks. And we were scared of it for a while. Now we want it.
I think I'm okay with the no-shows. I don't know. I'm wearing no-shows today. It's all like, well, I do have the Dick's Sporting Goods ones. I could pull up the black ones. For a while, I used to pull those up. Is that cool still? Can I do that?
No,
the
not
Dick's
cool.
Sporting Goods. I don't even know what those look like.
They're just black socks because, like the Fab Five in Michigan,
you need like a swoosh or an Adidas 3-bar. You need something at the top of those bad boys.
All right. Well, next in the Cambridge Dictionary is boop. Boop. Which is an affectionate touch. So just what you think it is. We're right on that one. As defined as a gentle hit or touch on a person's or animal's nose or the head, showing that you like them as a joke. For example, a boop is a playful poke in the nose, often accompanied by saying boop. Well, that's not a good example. I wanted to use I just boop.
Well, that's not an example. Now you sound like the Oxford Dictionary.
Boop. Okay, that one's easy. IYKYK. If you know, you know.
Oh.
That's in the dictionary now.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
That's,
now they're just doing acronyms. What else are we going to do? So is FML and OMG, are those all in there?
Boy, the dictionary's really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. The Cambridge especially.
Yeah, if you know is just TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't think that's.
Now, Kenzie, do you know what a face journey is?
I feel like I can't guess on air.
I think you can.
A face journey?
I got my fingers on the dump button. Go ahead.
I'm imagining. That's okay.
This is now in the dictionary.
I would say a face journey is when you're using your mouth instead of other stuff to do, the stuff.
Like what? That's a pretty good one.
Okay, when you're doing the stuff with your mouth, and you decide to go from the front all the way to the back, or the back all the way to the front.
Like a journey.
Like face journey.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Casey, you know what a face journey is?
I think it's when you do this.
That's motorboating.
Yes, yeah. That's already in the dictionary.
That's already, how dare you?
That goes back to the Oxford.
It's a classic.
So a face journey is a series of expressions as they react to someone in real time, defined as, someone is telling you a story and your face changes different ways a lot to show you're probably kind of interested, but maybe you're not, but you're really overexpressing your face.
Oh, I get in trouble for my face all the time.
Save that.
I do. Roman's like, what are you doing? He's like, your face says, you don't have to. I'm like, I didn't even say anything. He goes, no, you're saying it right now. It's written all over your face. The way you're looking at my family or me or whatever. I'm like, I'm just sitting here. I don't know. I didn't say anything.
You don't realize you're overreacting with your face.
I'm talking with my face.
You're kind of not listening, but you're just making expressions. That's what a face journey is.
I have a very expressive face. I have found, and boy, do I have to hear about it.
Finally, one more for the Cambridge Dictionary. A chef's kiss. You know what that is?
Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Mwah.
Yeah.
With your fingers, and you open your fingers
Chef's
and you go
kiss
away?
is when you're like describing like perfection. Like, mwah. It's just chef's kiss. My favorite dish from there is chef's kiss.
That's exactly what that is. You're, mwah, to the you're supposed to do the chef like perfect.
Yes.
Mwah.
Not how I felt last night when I found out the set time. I wasn't like, mwah, perfect.
I did it at the McDonald's on Wilson when they handed me a double quarter pounder with cheese last night.
Beautiful.
I went, tell the chef. Mwah.
Give the chef my regards.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Lala weekend going on. Every time I hear Soundgarden on a weekend like this, I think of the Lala when it was still a traveling Lollapalooza, and it was out by Rockford, and it was Metallica, Soundgarden, and the last show of the Ramones with the original, the lineup that we all know of the Ramones. What an incredible show that was. Speaking of things we got to pour one out for, because that's kind of with all those artists, except for Metallica, of course, which is a week from today at Soldier Field, but pour one out because yesterday was so busy with Lollapalooza and our song scrambles and everything that it's a story we didn't give attention to, and we have to, that the Naperville RibFest that was canceled this year has now called it quits in general. It's gone.
What?
The Naperville RibFest, after 35 years, the Exchange Club of Naperville made the announcement, this was on Tuesday actually, and said that the cost of the event post-COVID is just too high, and going forward, we can't see how we can make this happen. Now, it's funny that they can't think a year ahead and say maybe we can get new sponsors or someone can jump in. It's weird to cancel
Why are they
it.
just giving up? Like, I thought they just had a few, kinks in their rib bones to work out. Baby.
Yes,
I was giving them a year. We were going to come back stronger than ever.
I know. This is really sad because the RibFest raised millions of dollars over the year for tons of nonprofits that fight child abuse and domestic violence. It's besides, of course, the event itself, which is a blast for everybody. Some of the best ribs in the area in the competition, and some of the best bands have played there, like Three Doors Down, and Bill. I looked at some. It's funny. You go to Setlist FM, which is a place we always go to see what artists are playing. You can see their set list, so you can kind of get ahead of the game if you're going to a concert, what they might play, and like they've had some of the biggest bands play Naperville RibFest. Like I said, Three Doors Down, and like some of the classic bands like Styx and Billy Idol, and country artists like Toby Keith. Like all these people have played RibFest and all these years, and it's gone. Is there any way we can save it? What can we do? What can we do as Brian and Kenzie?
You made a really large donation.
Besides me giving money or a GoFundMe that people will forget about, is there some kind of something we can do to attract attention? Why the RibFest needs to exist? I know they need money, so they need money. But
could we petition that their budget? Because I think that every city gets a budget. I think
it increased somehow.
Or that's where they put the funds towards instead of like fixing potholes or something.
Well, isn't there a billionaire out there that's bored right now? That just he's already done everything he can do. How many threesomes can you have?
What? Amen, brother.
Are you just sick of them, Brian? you know how sick of those you get.
Right down from all the threesomes I've had lately.
Once you've had 10, you've had them all.
Yeah, right.
They say.
And maybe they want to donate $5 million to keep RibFest going. Like $5 million to a billionaire. Come on.
I don't know if $5 million would save it. How much do you think that event costs?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to project on there. Maybe someone from RibFest who worked it can call up and have more explanation on what's going on. But I just don't. We got to save Naperville RibFest. Come on.
I mean, I wonder if they just charged more at the gate per person.
Yeah, but that's going to also hurt people that really want to go. I'd like to keep the ticket price the same. That's what I'm trying to say. I guess can we keep the ticket price the same?
But if it's like a donation thing.
Yeah. I just want a billionaire that's bored with threesomes to help out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, 815 just checked in on the text line. They said you should have asked the Deftones last night to donate, but you were on your couch instead.
Yeah.
I actually was. I got to say, despite the thought of laying naked and eating nachos, Kenzie asked me to just take a picture like I told you to do. I did, and it was horrific of the picture of me with nachos covering my penis. And you know, this week with Lollapalooza, I don't want to go into Facebook jail for a picture, and I can't post anything for a while, so I opted not to post it.
Lame.
Clearly. I apologize. And I apologize to the Deftones, but I don't even know if they could sing. Maybe the Naperville RibFest.
Here's my concern, Brian.
Yes.
You're already campaigning for a new mayor in Dalton. You're not spending time, energy, or effort or money, but you're on the campaign trail.
Right.
Yep.
You have this job for now. You're raising a child for now.
Yeah.
I worry that you're not going to have time to save Naperville RibFest.
Well, because he also doesn't want to put in time or money or
I
effort
know.
for this. So it's becoming really hard to find ways for you to participate without actually really having to do anything.
I think
in so many causes.
Well, Kate is right. I got a lot on my plate.
You're a busy guy.
What's it called? My day planner is full of the events I got to take care of.
You had a penis nachos plate last night. I mean, everything, your plate's full.
My plate is clearly full. That one is. But if I could just find a billionaire who's tired of threesomes, we can save Naperville RibFest. That's my solution.
Oh, how about you find, okay, I have an idea.
Oh, boy.
How about you Google every billionaire
And they
and
won't
you just at all of them on social media. Just be like, hey, are you sick of threesomes? Because our RibFest is suffering.
You know what?
So you can do Elon. Who else is a billionaire?
I mean, even Illinois billionaires.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's he's a
He is a billionaire.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner. Who else
Yeah.
is a billionaire? I think Kanye's not anymore. You can try, though.
I don't know if you want Kanye to
He
save it.
tunnels. Okay,
What if
listen.
Kanye saved RibFest?
I don't know if it makes up for all the bad he's
Listen,
done.
he's from here and he wants to help.
I think Kanye's going to have some policies I don't agree with.
I think Kanye's number one goal has always been improving Naperville, too.
Sure.
That's- He talks about it. in
I
his
might as well
songs.
ask for a visitor pass to R. Kelly now, too. But he ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
He's
He is
done.
not a billionaire.
He is not a millionaire. He's
I
not.
know.
He's not even a thousandaire at this point.
What about Reinsdorf?
Reinsdorf.
Is he a billionaire?
Oh,
Kenzie, is he
Is
a
he?
billionaire?
he's
yes.
8 billion.
How
His
many
li-
billionaires are there? I'm gonna Google.
There's a lot.
Seems like so many. It seems like everybody's a billionaire these days.
He could. Well, when you own the White Sox, even though they're 17 losses in a row, it doesn't matter. They're still worth like $3
Oh
billion.
my God! Look at all the people you can tweet at. There's 3,194 billionaires.
Yep.
So tweet at all of them individually.
But we need also more. Can we narrow it down to Illinois billionaires? Rihanna's not. She's not
She's a
gonna.
billionaire.
She's not gonna save RibFest.
I mean, I could see her liking ribs. I like ribs. I
Because you like ribs.
I'm just saying. I feel like Brianna and I was Brianna for Halloween. I feel like we're so similar.
All right, we'll work
Okay,
on.
how many?
Listen, hold on. We'll work on this during the break. I'm up against here with Gil. He's in his studio going like, "What are you guys talking about?" Kenzie just said, "I like ribs." Rihanna must like ribs.
I'm just saying it's a possibility because I also like ribs.
I understand. Keep looking. It's Gil Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. Russia released a U.S. reporter who spent a year in prison. He was so isolated, the first thing he asked was, "What's Hawk Tuah?" Speaking of, the Hawk Tuah girl trademarked the phrase, "Bet on that thing." She should also trademark the phrase, "Whatever happened to the Hawk Tuah girl?" A man in Washington was arrested for running over a flock of seagulls. The good news is he missed Men Without Hats. And MTV turned 43 yesterday. Music television was supposed to be the death of radio. But the people made their choice. So happy birthday, losers. This is not headline news.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
All right, here we go. It is time for Case's movie reviews, and he's doing Rocky by popular demand. It sounds so weird. This is, again, the lens of a 25-year-old watching a almost 50-year-old movie, a movie that I think everybody listening has seen. I would have to think 98% of our audience has seen Rocky, and to me, an inspirational movie that helped shape my life after I saw Rocky.
Really?
No, it just sounds good.
It made me want to work out. Didn't you feel like you could accomplish anything after the movie?
100%.
Like, tomorrow's training day, baby.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm going to be a world champ.
When I got exiled from Chicago radio, which I won't talk about, I had to leave Chicago for a while, went to Philadelphia and did radio there, sports talk radio. And that's where I met my wife, so it all worked out properly, of course. It was beautiful. But the first thing I did, I got off the plane and I went to the museum, to the Rocky statue, and hugged it. Don't you roll your eyes at me, Case.
Sorry, that wasn't a verbal cue, but I did just roll my eyes at Brian in the studio.
You hugged?
I hugged the Rocky. I've always, my life, I've never been there. I dreamed of being by the Rocky statue.
I'm going to bring something up right now.
Yeah.
I've been to the Rocky statue.
Yeah.
It's not floor level.
I
It's
understand.
up.
I climbed it.
So when you hugged him, where's your face?
I climbed it. I was still in his shorts area. I was still in that area. I couldn't get all the way up. Yeah.
So you're just burying your face right in there? You on a face journey?
I was a face journey.
We were talking about this
Good
earlier.
callback. Good callback. A face journey with the Rocky statue. So let's get to it. We always start off with the old trailer. So is this 1976?
1976, December of 1976. This is a movie trailer from the 70s.
His name is Sylvester Stallone. He's the star of a new film called Rocky. He's been described as tough, handsome, talented, sexy, sensitive, dynamic, brilliant. He's been compared to Nicholson, De Niro, and Brando, but he is Rocky. He's the man who could be loved by only one woman because somehow she gets beneath the pain. He's every nobody who ever needed somebody.
Rocky, do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah. He's the man who never had a chance until now. Rocky. His whole life was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. His name is Sylvester Stallone, but you will always remember him as Rocky.
Damn right! Look at these goosebumps. Look at these goosebumps.
Your hair is actually standing up.
I got goosebumps out of my
You look
ass.
like when a dog.
What?
I have goosebumps out of my ass right now.
Yes.
Oh my
You
God.
look like your arms are so hairy right now. It's standing up. It looks like when you have a beagle and somebody walks by with their dog and all the hair stands up on its back. That's how you look. Your arms.
That was the most incredible piece of audio I've ever heard.
Well, thank you to crew member Andy in Bensonville. He's the one that sent that. Thank you again, Andy, for Bensonville. That was... What a trailer. We have not had something like that.
That was the best trailer we've ever played. And the old ones we've made fun of, not made fun of, but we yearn for those voiceovers from the 70s, 80s, 90s that don't happen anymore in movie trailers.
I gotta be honest. I love the old school voice movie trailers. I really do.
Yeah.
But that just sounded like a dating profile for the first 15 seconds.
His name is Sylvester Stallone.
Play it one more time.
I don't know what that had to do with the movie, the first little bit.
Well, here's why they did that, because he was an unknown. No one knew who the hell he was when this movie came out.
His name is Sylvester Stallone. He's the star of a new film called Rocky. He's been described as tough, handsome, talented, sexy, sensitive, dynamic, brilliant.
We're just listing everything.
Oh, that is like a movie
Him
profile.
and Eminem brought the dictionary on the bus.
That is so good. And he was a complete unknown. I mean, he had some movies out by then, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't Rocky. He wasn't Sylvester Stallone.
It's like, are we going to get to the movie or are we just going to keep talking about
Well,
things women have said about him?
I don't know if you're going to say this, Case, in your review, but also the reason is, he wrote Rocky.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Oh,
No.
yeah. And he got paid. Movie studios wanted to buy it from him, but they wanted somebody else to star in it, and he refused over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that he had to sell his own dog.
He did.
He sold his own dog.
The dog in
because he
the
had no
dog in the
money.
movie is his dog, Buttkiss, and he had to buy it back once he got enough money. He got the advance for the
But
movie.
he refused, as broke as he was, he refused to sell the movie to these movie companies if he couldn't be the star of it.
Yep. He held on to it, and it was right. It was the right
He's a true
move.
champion in the movie and in real life. He
Yeah.
should have added champion to his list of incredible things about him.
Yeah, but what if De Niro started this movie instead? Wouldn't it be a little
No.
bit better if it was De Niro?
No.
I have a
Wait
bet.
a minute. You better put some respect on Sylvester Stallone. You better come in here and hate him because I love him.
I think I already know where this review's going, possibly by that statement.
Do we want to dive in?
Let's do this. I'll say we've had some fun with the trailer. We played it, but let's. I'm nervous about your review now, and I may have to pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
If you're going,
absolutely about to get canceled.
if you're going to disparage Rocky, when I'm in the room, we may have a problem.
Finally, grow up here, Brian, because I'm not playing this game.
Well, I enjoy the lens of the 25-year-old seeing these movies. I'm very open and I'm evolved, and I want to hear your perspective of something. But this one's different.
Yes. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I proposed to my wife by saying, I wonder if you wouldn't mind marrying me much in front of 4,000 people at the Aragon. A great line from Rocky.
Oh, a classic.
Actually, that was Rocky 2, but yeah.
You haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. We'll get there next week. All right, we come back here, the full review of Rocky from Case here on Brian and Kenzie on Q101, 8 minutes away.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, we broke down the trailer, which took a good amount of time there with Rocky.
There was a lot to unpack. I wasn't expecting that.
But now let's get right to it. And Case's review of Rocky, seeing it for the first time at 25 years old, a movie that's almost 50 years old. And obviously a classic and one of the most inspiring movies of all time. Case, go. What is your review of the movie?
So a lot of times when I watch a movie for the show, I do a lot of deep dive after the fact. I want to know who directed it, who wrote it, what the purpose of the movie was. I didn't do that with Rocky, but I'm assuming in 2024, we've all come to the conclusion that this is a movie about a man who is suffering from severe CTE. He clearly has a brain injury that is incurable. Uh-huh. He's living a damaged, hard life because of it, and his brain hopefully will be donated to science when he finally kicks the bucket. That's what Rocky's about, am I right?
Well, no, but
well,
yes.
I mean, he's boxing, so he may have gotten CTE along the way.
He has CTE.
I will say this. It's interesting how Rocky starts where his career is already over. He's like 28 years old, I think, in the movie at that point, and he's boxing for $5 at these local gyms, these bars. And so, and you're right. He has He's got some problems. Yeah. He's down and out more than anybody could be down and out. So that's an interesting takeoff of I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's not the whole movie.
That's pretty much the whole movie.
No, it's not.
Let's make it clear. He wanted it to come across as if he was struggling. It's not like he was trying to play a millionaire and failed. That is one of the points.
No, I certainly thought he was struggling.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Again, actor of the year. Congratulations. Like, he nailed it. He definitely came across as struggling.
Yeah. I guess this is when history proves something different. They never heard of CTE back then.
It was a different time.
If you don't know what CTE is, it's the conversation of the football players getting over concussions over and over again, and many of them are dying and getting ALS.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah, something like that.
Encephalopathy.
Yeah, so this is what the football players get. So anyway, Case.
Anywho, CTE.
This is a tale of two movies, right? There's the boxing stuff, which is great. I love all the boxing characters. I love the promoter. Okay. I love Apollo Creed. Rocky's boxing is excellent to watch. He's got a trainer who was a veteran in the War of 1812. That man is so old. I love it.
Women weaken legs. That's what Mick used to say. He was right, too.
Rocky at one point goes, "It's a living," and then he goes, "It's a waste of life."
Such good points.
What a great line.
What a great line. I forgot about that. You're out there. You're a leg breaker. Because he was working for that mob guy. And that Mick goes, yeah. Oh, so good. I'm getting chills again. Love it.
Then there's romantic Rocky.
Yes.
Which I think we need to discuss.
Okay.
It's like a horror movie. Whenever Rocky is interacting with a woman in this movie, it's one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
So, it's, sometimes when you watch a movie for the first time, like, you're trying to figure out just what universe you're in for the first 20 minutes or so. So I understand Rocky's a boxer, but I couldn't understand why at the beginning he's talking to this lady who works at like a bird store who's ignoring all of his advances, and yet he goes back almost every day to talk to this woman who doesn't want to talk to him.
Listen, shoot your shot.
He did.
About 15 times, 100 times.
So
it was sweet.
I don't know if it was or not.
It was super sweet.
Well, this is his perspective of it. This is his perspective of it. That's why I like to hear this.
goes out with her for the first time, I think on Thanksgiving. Was that the night of their first date? Because her brother comes by and throws away her turkey because she wouldn't go out with Rocky, which is one of the most evil things I've ever seen.
That's exactly right.
And then they
That's
go.
Paulie, of course.
Of course. So they go on this date, which is fine. And then they go back to Rocky's house. And this is like a frail, sheltered, very soft-spoken woman.
Right.
And she gets back to Rocky's apartment and she goes, you know, Rocky, I'd really like to call my brother. You know, it'd make me feel better if he knew where I was. And Rocky goes, I don't have a phone. At that point, I'm like, okay, so she's getting murdered. I didn't know Rocky was a horror film, but it is.
Kenzie, if you went over to someone's house and you wanted to call, like your mom, let's say, and they said, I don't have a phone, how do you think it's going to play out?
Well, nowadays, you know, is a lie. I'm sorry. That's back then.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have a phone.
He didn't have a phone.
That's what I said. He was literally, you know, this guy can't win. He's one of the good ones. He's telling the truth. He's being honest, and he still comes across as creepy.
But let's take yourself back, though, to the 70s, Kenzie. And
I was never there, but I will do my best.
well, I'm saying that a guy maybe not have a phone, really, and he said he didn't have a phone. Would you still think everything was sweet?
I think you could look at him and go, he probably doesn't have a phone. Like that tracks. He's been nice. He's been a good guy. It would add up that he probably wouldn't be paying for a phone at that point in his life.
Yeah.
I think if you went over to a well-off guy's house, he said he didn't have a phone, red flag. You go over to his house, you're like, probably.
Probably not a phone.
Probably doesn't have a phone.
I've never thought of that watching the movie. I've seen it over 100 times. It's creeping me out now. I got to admit, it is when he says he doesn't have a phone.
It's absolutely horrifying to think about. Like the tone changes because it's not like, oh, I don't have a phone, but maybe we can find him. He goes, I don't have a phone. Yeah. And then he yells out the window to her brother like, hey, she's over here.
Okay, he's putting in the effort because he wants her to feel comfortable and he doesn't have a phone.
I can do that imitation, by the way.
Oh, here.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. She coming home a little bit later.
Perfect. Tell me you don't feel safe with that guy. He's like, I don't have a phone, but I'm going to make it happen.
No, she probably thinks she's coming home in a burlap sack now that Rocky's going to dismember her in his apartment.
Oh, my God.
It's terrifying. That every bit of Rocky interacting with any sort of woman in this movie.
Her name is Adrian, by the way.
Adrian.
Put some respect on her name.
Well, she's a survivor. I'm glad she's here to speak about it.
She's a survivor.
This is a timeless love story. A timeless love story. Their entire relationship, spoiler alert, and marriage, because you haven't gotten to the other
Kenzie,
ones.
how dare you?
You gave away the proposal earlier. You said you quoted it.
Oh, damn it, you're right.
Yeah, so that's on you. But they have a beautiful relationship, and I can't sit here and listen to this.
Sorry, Case, they get married. I ruined that.
They do get married.
You couldn't have predicted what was going to happen with Rocky and Adrian.
She doesn't get murdered. They get married.
Wow. All right, good to know. I would have assumed she got murdered.
You know.
All right, keep going with your review of Rocky.
Otherwise, outside of all the horrific romantic stuff, it's a great movie. I loved all the boxing stuff. The boxing promoter is such a great character.
Oh, yeah.
What's his line when he's trying to sell Rocky on the fight?
Rocky, do you believe in America?
And then Rocky, without making eye contact, because whenever somebody is speaking directly to Rocky in this movie, he refuses to make eye contact with them, which again, CTE. He goes, yeah, I do. And then sells him on this fight. The fight scene. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, right?
It's that's historic. What they did has never been done in movies before. They invented a camera that can basically the camera they use today, where if the guy has to run, let's say the cameraman, and the camera stays steady.
Yeah.
They invented that camera when he runs up the steps, and they used it in the boxing scenes. And the guy was 6'8", the cameraman, to make it work. They needed some big guy, so they got a big guy to do it.
You could have had that job. All the things you could have done with his height.
It's unbelievable.
And look at you, standing by a microphone. I'm 5'2", I can do that.
Yeah, that's right. No advantage here.
It's a really enjoyable movie from the boxing perspective. I finally put the training scene together in context. I knew the song. I knew at some point he was going to run up some stairs.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Because it's an iconic clip you've seen, I'm sure, just randomly.
Well, because I've always made fun of people that go to Philadelphia and do that. I think what a waste of time that would be, but now I want to go to Philly and do that.
Of course, it's unbelievable how I hate running, but it's exciting to do that. It's fun.
Do you want to know my wedding was in Philadelphia? Because my wife's from there, and we ran the Rocky Steps, took pictures at the top, right by everything.
She ran it in a gown, like
she
ran?
She did. Well, I mean
she could have face planted.
as
It's very
fast as you
dangerous.
can. And then we were at the Rocky statue, always has a line of about 100 people taking pictures with it. And everybody saw us and started cheering, and they spread. And you guys go because you're getting married, and we got a picture by the Rocky statue. I'll put that up on Facebook if you want.
What a bunch of nerds.
You want to do it now, you said. You're a nerd.
Listen, Kate, it's fun. It's just good old-fashioned fun. Don't hate on that.
All
Wow.
right.
Is there anything I missed? Any other angle of Rocky we need to cover?
So you covered basically it's a movie about a guy who has CTE and has a sad life. Also, not a phone, a little bit creepy with a date, but the boxing scenes were kick-ass.
Apollo Creed shot up my list of favorite movie characters ever. That I wish I was him. What a cool guy.
I mean, in a way, he stole the movie. In a way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because no one else could have played Rocky, and no one else could have played Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
Perfectly cast.
I do have something to admit, is that for a very, very, very long time, I thought Apollo Creed was a real person.
Like a boxer, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Up until very recently did I find out that wasn't based just like on a true character. I assumed.
Yeah.
Recently as in today, right now?
Not right now. But not far off. There's so many things named like Apollo and stuff. I don't know. It just seemed very legitimate.
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. He did play pro football. Like he was a real athlete before he was an actor
I believe
and all that.
And I didn't think he was the real Apollo Creed. I thought he was playing.
You thought he was playing Apollo Creed.
Yeah, I thought that there was a real Apollo Creed in the world.
I want to say something interesting that a texter just came in on.
Yeah.
What is your take on him punching the meat?
Why can't he just go to a gym like a normal guy?
But don't you want?
He doesn't have a phone, Casey. You think he can afford a lifetime gym membership? You're out of your mind.
There was no Planet Fitnesses back then.
Oh, you're telling me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I love when the news reporter has to bundle up to go interview him there.
Yeah.
And then he gives the worst interview of any interview all time.
Like every athlete,
I know.
in fairness.
Well, I got to go fight him. Oh, thanks, Rock. All right, nice.
I
Gonna
love it.
try hard out there.
I love it when the news reporter, I remember this part where she asks him about the workout routine. Is this typical for boxers around? He goes, no, I invented it. So I'm glad you've seen Rocky now, and the listeners can decide if it becomes every Friday on August Rocky month that you see all 5 of the good movies, because you can watch, the Tommy Morrison one on your own, which, by the way, has E from Entourage, there's a little kid in it, by the way.
Wow, it's really your sweet spot.
So how many, I've seen every movie, probably 50 times minimum of the Rocky movies. I love them. So, Case, how many, punches? What are you going to give? Boxing gloves? Adrian's?
How many slabs of hanging cold meat do you give it?
Can I do it 7 damaged brains?
Yes, how many damaged brains would you give this?
7 damaged brains out of 10. It's a fun movie.
Okay.
It's not Shawshank. It's not Twister.
It's not Twister.
It's not Twister.
Okay, turn his microphone off.
Woo!
Turn
But
it
it's
off.
a fun movie.
There you go. If you missed any of this review and the earlier parts of it, go to our podcast later on, Case's review of Rocky.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.